Sushi Kozlova's to my left. I'm really disappointed. It's a really disappointing result. I thought I just feel for our team. I think we poured a lot of ourselves into this, and that's life, right? Pouring yourself into something that you care about, and then not getting the result you want. So credit to Marshall. We didn't play well enough to win. They did, and I'll remember that game for the rest of my life.
All right, Coach, we got a couple questions from Zoom. Heaven Bristo was absolutely huge tonight against the Herd. Can you talk about her year and her performance tonight?
Yeah, I feel for Hev for a couple reasons. But one, I just wish we had her for 4 years because she would be an absolute monster. And she was really big for us down the stretch. I mean, I thought she kind of started slow, but then at times kind of took over the game. We obviously needed defensive rebounding, and she was our best at that. And so just the journey she's been on through what she had to do this year, starting the year getting disappointment that she can't play because of the NCAA transfer rule, and then getting activated, and then she gets in a rhythm, and then she rolls an ankle, and then she's coming back. And so I just really feel for her, right? Her and Carol don't get this chance again. This is done. So she came here to win a championship, and, we're short of that. But I thought she played she was a huge reason we were in the game. I appreciate everything she gave to us.
And then, Coach, following that, just reflect on the seniors, this group, and what they've meant to your program and what they've meant to you.
Yeah, I mean, it's a different group, right? They're not 4-year kids. All 3 are transfers. So I've watched Heaven transform from a little bit guarded, a little bit protected over personality, to I would say a beautiful, shining personality. And it's really nice to watch her. And talking to her father the other day, he sees it too, and that's the business I'm in, right? Is not to get her to necessarily have 21 and 12, but to grow as a person, right, and be in a better place when she leaves here than when she started. And so I'm really proud of her journey, her ups and downs especially. Carol is one of the most joyous, smart, funny people that I've coached. She deserves a compliment because I know that body has got a lot of miles on it. And you're talking about 4-year starter, or not to start the whole time, but 4-year player at UVA, and then coming here and going through a whole year of 100 practices, and she gave us all she had, and she'll be back with us. She's going to be a GA with us, but just really enjoyable to coach. And then Amira, it's something that will stick out for me for the rest of my life is being up at Ball State and putting her in the game after 3 quarters, and she gets a steal right away, and then goes down with a basically career-ending, season-ending injury. But Amira, again, watching her development, watching her when she came in here at semester, and knowing how she is as a person, and her really, really intelligent, really smart personality, and it's nice. She's a professional, and I asked her to basically take a role that I'm sure she didn't like. I'm sure she had to answer that question to her family quite a bit, and she did that with grace, and she did that as a professional, and I thank her for it. And she's in this too. Her heart's in that locker room too.
Okay, go ahead, Paul.
Coach Paul Chestnut, Fox Sports, Pensacola Radio. You were successful in defending them. I mean, watching them, it's like watching a hockey game, the way that they substitute. And 99 shots they had. How do you prepare for someone like that?
Yeah, I wish with more days of prep. They're honestly they're incredible what they do, and she's done a great job getting them to buy into that, because I mean, what did they sub 50-something seconds into the game? That was their first sub. And they're charged up, and I give them credit. And it's funny, you say we defended them.
We took them into overtime.
Yeah, I know. I want to win by 12. If we didn't turn the ball over and we got rebounds, we would have won by 25. But we didn't do those things. But anyway, sorry. No, they're a good team, and they keep coming, and they're relentless. And but there's a game plan to beat them, and we failed to execute that game plan, right? The stats will tell you that. But there is a game plan to beat them, and so I'm not telling anybody because I hope they win 3 games in the NCAA tournament because they're going to represent our league really well, and that's what this bigger than my loss today is. The Sun Belt deserves way more respect, and they're going to go get that for us. Okay.
I'm going to kind of ask you about the game plan, but people are going to kind of focus on the total number of turnovers.
Yeah.
Was there a difference between the type of turnovers early in that, like, they weren't getting runouts, they weren't getting the transition threes that they like to get, as opposed to maybe late they were not having to run half-court offenses?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, man, you can take your pick on the type of turnover. I think we had just about every shape and form of turnover today. The idea was, and this is, we tried to do this, was they ride you up the floor the whole game, and instead of a live ball turnover or stepping out of bounds, I wanted our guards to force the issue, and I'll take an offensive foul because now it is a dead ball, and I can at least have something to talk about with the referees, right, in the sense of forcing them to make a call. We did that sometimes. I don't think enough. They were just moving. They were moving fast. And to your point, they just keep coming in, and they stay fresh. And, we got a couple foul outs. I'm sure they probably did too. Yep. Which is okay in an overtime game. That happens, especially a championship game. But, no, I can't. I've never, ever coached a game with that many turnovers in my life. And hopefully I never will again. That part was really affected by kind of our lack of being able to practice, which is okay. It's tournament setting. Like, I'm not whining about it, but it was hard to get us organized in a press break, in a meeting room, right? And I thought they did a good job. They deserve it. I don't know if that answered your question, Ken.
Go ahead, Luke.
Luke Creasy, HD Media in Huntington. You mentioned the boards tonight and 33 offensive rebounds. They weren't making a ton of shots early, but those second chances, how big were those, and what did they do to kind of effectively push you guys off?
Yeah, I wouldn't say pushed us off. I thought they were in a sense hungrier at times. And look, there's a simple 3-thing game plan that we focused on: transition defense, the glass, and press break. And 2 out of 3 we didn't take care of, right? You can't. I know we won the glass by 9. That's not 33 offensive rebounds is, again, I would check with John. I've never coached a game where somebody else has got over 30 offensive rebounds on us. We got them to miss 43s. And, like, everything is good. The game plan is in place. It's hard to execute. Like, I'm sitting here saying we didn't execute. Well, yeah, it's hard. It's not easy, and I'm trying to do it on a board. Well, I can't do it. I don't know what that pressure's like, and so they flew in there. They shoot 43 or 46 threes, right? It's long rebounds, and it's not going where you think it's going, right? And so you turn, you're a forward. We played zone for 45 minutes, but you're a forward and you're looking up, and it's bouncing off the rim, and here comes Abby Beeman or Hayes, or and they're flying in there. But there wasn't enough urgency on the glass, and that's something we've done all year long. And I'm a little surprised we didn't do it better. The turnovers, we haven't been great with that all year long, but the glass we've been that good all year long, and I'm kind of surprised we don't have 80 rebounds here on this sheet.
Jarvis.
Yeah.
It looked like when they were starting to maybe pull away in the fourth quarter, you guys did fight back to tie the game. So what did that just kind of say about your group? Because in a lot of ways, it was almost kind of like the Marshall game yesterday, where they kind of were getting ready to run away with it, and then you guys end up fighting back and have to lead for section.
Yeah, they can wear you down. They can wear you down. And that's why I'm proud of my group. This stat sheet will make you question why you're proud, right? Because it looks pretty gross. But I'm proud of our group because we didn't quit. There was times I felt like the pace and consistency that Marshall was playing with was getting to us. But man, they deserve it. They didn't break. They bent a little bit, but they didn't break. And I thought, we had to deep go into our pockets pretty good with rotations and stuff like that. But I thought in the end they kept believing and they kept evening it out. And it comes down to one or two plays, which is unfortunate. But they deserved it. I mean, they as much hard as we played with, Marshall earned that more than we did, and that's why they're champs.
Susha, how frustrating was it to kind of have to sit and watch the overtime when you probably felt like you could have been helping out there?
Yeah, you said that, super hard. But I still believe that we got it because Anna sent us to overtime. So I just really hope to will win.
Go ahead, Paul.
Coach, you feel like you'll be playing WNIT, or you still?
We've made administration's made a decision. There's a new tournament now. It's called the WBIT, which is from the NCAA sponsored and run through the NCAA. So they picked 32 teams. That's the only tournament we'll play in. So we're not playing the WNIT this year, or anything, right? WBI or anything like that. So I really hope. I don't know. I think we're right on the fringe of that. When we lost Susha, we got nipped by two teams, Georgia State and App State. And I think if we had run the table, I think we're a no-brainer for that. And I hope they take that into consideration, her absence, because I don't want to say we wouldn't have lost those games, but she's a pretty good player. I like having her around. So I don't exactly know. I'm going to try to find out probably today what our status is and how we look, if it depends on other people or if we're a lock for that. I don't exactly know.
Go ahead, Luke.
Coach, kind of along those lines, and you mentioned earlier about you hope maybe the Sun Belt one day is a two-big league. How close do you think they are? There's some really good basketball being played in this league.
Honestly, the best shot we have is this situation where there's a team 17-1 that lost to us, and we could beat them in this situation, right? But Marshall's got to put together a more complete year, right? So early in the year when Kim was building it, they lost to Moorhead and they lost to Wright State and they lost to I can't think of it now, but Northern Kentucky. And so, right, those losses will cripple you in an at-large situation, and the net is making it increasingly harder for mid-majors to get at-large bids. And so I think this is the situation, right? You gotta be near flawless in non-conference, then come into the league, go 17-1, 18-0 type, and then lose in the championship is really the only way. I think we've taken a huge leap from last year, but it's just this league is right now is there's too much parity. Like we're 13-5, right? Other team, I mean, it's there's so much parity in this league right now, and it's a good thing for our league. But in the end, you're gonna have two bids with a top-heavy league, and Marshall was pretty top-heavy once you got in the league, but overall they just got starting slow. She was putting a system in.
Go ahead, Jarvis.
Susha, for you, just kind of being near the bench, you could see you guys as just togetherness and unity as a team. Just what did kind of this team and your teammates mean to you personally?
We've been together for the whole year, and that's what we focused on the most of the season. That's why we were so good. So it means a lot, yeah. But
Any final questions? Go ahead, Shane.
Kind of follow up on Luke's question. Gary Broadhead's in here the other day. He was kind of advocating for cutting down the conference schedule, playing 16 conference games,
Oh.
not beat each other up in conference as much. You feel like you can get good non-conference games. Is that something you would be in favor of?
Yeah, if I can schedule a couple bus trips instead of being on a flight, maybe. I don't know. I don't know enough about that and what games we could get. It's hard for us to schedule. And I think it's hard for everybody to schedule, right? But it's hard for us to schedule, so it's. I don't know about that one. I mean, I'm sure there's some merit to it, and I heard a bigger league was talking the same thing. Maybe SEC, I can't remember, but somebody was talking about that, and I don't know enough about the math. I think it will help, man. But the net doesn't like mid majors. That's a fact. If you go on the net right now, there'll be some ACC teams that are above us or better than us. There'll be some SEC teams with that are in 11th place that are better than us, and not that we're the standard, right? Even Marshall. It doesn't cater to mid majors much. It's too bad. I think we got a good league, and I think Marshall will represent us well.